Hi, it's Taylor with Mom on the Spectrum. This is a totally random live stream. I had to get on and talk about Heartbreak High, which is a new show on Netflix. This is not an ad. This is just an actually autistic person being so excited about having representation in the media. So I got to talk about this. If you haven't seen it and you're like, you don't want spoilers, then go watch it and come back, and then you can be a fangirl with me here on this video. So if you don't want spoilers, I'm not going to give away too much, but this show, Heartbreak High on Netflix, I heard that there was an autistic character. I was skeptical because I haven't really connected to another autistic character in the media because it always feels a little bit like trying too hard or not quite it. Hey, Boss, I'm so glad you're here. This is totally random. So I decided to watch it to give it a try. The first episode, first of all, I'm only 2 episodes in. So if it turns out to be like not a great representation of being autistic, then we'll deal with that. I can't see it going there. But Paz, I'm doing good, and I'm really excited about the show Heartbreak High that I'm talking about. But I'm good. I have been missing the community, and that's part of why I'm doing a live stream too. So being super excited about Autistic Representation and Heartbreak High on Netflix. Again, not an ad. Okay. Okay, so the first episode, I was a little bit skeptical. The autistic character in Heartbreak High, her name's Quinny. And actually, I'm not sure if I know her pronouns yet, if it's she or they, but I'm pretty sure it's she. So her name's Quinny. She's played by an actually autistic actor. I believe her name is Chloe Heaton, who has written a book about being autistic, and it seems amazing. So check her out. It has a great title, but I can't remember it right now. So the first episode, I'm a little skeptical because it seems very stereotypical autistic to me. So she's wearing like very flashy clothes, like rainbow colors. Oh, good, Marcella. Yeah. So rainbow colors, like she has sequins on her face and like bright makeup, and like her hair is kind of like mine, like it's on top of her head. So I was like, okay, look at the autistic girl. But I was like, okay, I'm here for it. Like, let's see where this goes. Okay, episode 2 is what I'm talking about now. So again, if you don't want spoilers, come back and watch this later. Episode 2, it actually portrays sensory overwhelm in a way that it happens to me. Like, so first of all, you should know that I felt lots of things as I was watching it. I felt like, do y'all ever just feel like you're crying, but you're not crying? I felt like I was crying. I didn't cry until today, like delayed processing, like a good autistic person. I was alone in my car driving, which is where most of my thoughts start clicking and making sense. And I started crying because I'm like, I feel so seen by Quinny. Like, this is my life. So to set the scene, Quinny is on a date. That was very hard for her to ask for. They show you that as well. So she's at a restaurant with her date, and you see the date talking, and all of a sudden the date's face blurs and it focuses in on the couple next to them, and you start hearing their conversation. You see the dishes start clinking together and the waiter speaking over your shoulder to the person behind her, and you hear like the doors swinging open in the kitchen, and all of these things are happening, and the scene kind of like blurs out, and her date starts being like, okay, great, feeling like they're very uninteresting and that Quinny is not interested in the conversation. That's kind of how that scene wraps up. Next scene, you see Quinny bursting in to her best friend who's at a house party. So they're in the bathroom talking, and she's telling her best friend, she's like, I was trying so hard, and I was having a great time, and like, she's so cool, and everything was so loud, and I couldn't hear anything. I couldn't hear any words that were being said. So she's like having a hard time breathing, and she's saying these things. And her best friend, who is wonderful, again, I don't know, his pronouns might be they. So they're like, breathe. They like take a deep breath with him, and they look to them well, before that happened, I'm getting ahead of myself. There was one other person in the bathroom who tried to go towards Quinny to comfort her. And Quinny's best friend was like, we don't touch Quinny. Like Quinny like visibly got out of the way because she didn't want to be touched. She didn't want to hug. And her best friend was like, we don't touch Quinny when she's in this mode, you know? So he knew what to do. He looked at Quinny and he said, we live in this bathroom now. And so the other person left. It was just Quinny and her best friend. They laid in the bathtub, of course, fully clothed. This was just like a friend thing. And so they're laying in the bathtub and they're both just taking really deep breaths together, not saying anything. She goes a bit catatonic where she's kind of just zoned out. The autistic stare straight ahead. And her best friend just sits there with her and doesn't say anything. He's doing his own thing. He's just happy to be there with her, you know? So it comes back to her in a little bit and she takes a deep breath and she has a smile on her face and she says, I think I'm better now. So she gets up. The next scene you see her go to her date who's now at this party. And she says, hey, I was having a great time. Her date's like, well, why did you make me feel so uninteresting? Like you were clearly not involved in the conversation. They kind of get into it. And Quinny says, I'm autistic. Like just to hear her say that, like in a Netflix show, she's like, I'm autistic. She's like, you probably don't know that because I'm great at masking. And I do it all the time. And you would never know that I'm struggling with anything because I mask. And so the other character, her date, who is misinformed, says, but I've met autistic people. Like, how are you autistic? And she says, you're so emotionally mature. And Quinny's like, yeah, you know, just clearly kind of like over the misinformation. And so they're having this conversation in a real way where Quinny's like, I'm a real person. Yes, I'm emotionally mature. Yes, I'm autistic. Yes, you don't know this because I mask. And they're using these real words in a real way. And I was watching it and I was like, I feel emotional. Like, this is me. Like, I'm being represented by this person. So here I am being emotional. That's why I had to get on here and share it because, like I said, she's actually an autistic person in real life. She's an autistic actor. Somebody had commented on my Instagram that they watched something behind the scenes, and apparently Chloe gets to have like so much input over her character and how to make it like an authentic representation of what life is like for us. So, gosh, I just had to share it. Isn't that exciting? Like, isn't it exciting to know that we're starting to be better represented, and not like in a way that pities us, but it's like, it's empowering. Like, maybe we need to lay in the bathtub and take deep breaths and maybe we deserve a best friend who understands that we need that, you know, and who knows not to touch us whenever we're in meltdown mode. Like, these are real things that are happening. And to be able to see the conversations that happen, like real conversations, you know, not like, oh, that would be nice if that conversation happened, but the messiness of like the misinformation about what it is to be autistic, and sitting with that and being able to talk to the other person about, you know, well, this is the real deal. Like, you're looking at it. So anyways, again, this is not an ad. I'm just really excited. This would be a great show maybe to share with some other people in your life who might benefit from seeing a representation of an actually autistic person. Again, I can't vouch for the entire show. I'm only 2 episodes in and clearly a little excited about it. It's not going to be everyone's cup of tea. It's based off of like this sex map that was in, let me unpack that for a second. It was like a map that two teenagers had drawn on the wall of their school to like connect people who had romantic relationships. So it might be too much for some people, but I just want to throw that out there so you know what you're getting yourself into. So yeah, I actually put the clips of this scenario up that I'm talking about today on my Instagram story today, at Taylor_Heaton, like turn the heat on. If you actually want to see what I'm talking about, because some of you have said, I don't have Netflix. That's okay. Yeah, I heard Chloe Hayden's a YouTuber too. That's awesome. Oh, that's so cool. Yeah, I'll have to check out more of her stuff because I definitely vibe with her for sure. So you can check out the clip on my Instagram story today. I also wanted to share just because in my own personal life, I've been feeling so validated connecting to so many of you now that I'm doing more coaching sessions in the community groups. If you haven't heard about the community groups, it's a great way for us to connect to each other and get to share stories like this. So autistic community groups, I keep scheduling more and more because they keep getting booked. It's a group of up to 15 people, and we meet together on a video conference call on Google Meet. And you can participate in whichever way you want. If you want the camera off, you can just do microphone only. You can participate only in the text chat if you don't want your voice. You can just listen in if you don't want to participate at all. But it's a 90-minute session and it's centered around a specific topic. So our first one was over autistic meltdowns, kind of similar to what Quinny had in Heartbreak High. We talked about why we have meltdowns and what those feel like, what they look like, how to navigate through them, and some helpful tools. And then we got to share stories. This next autistic community group is going to be over parenting on the spectrum, which is something that y'all have asked about a lot on the channel that I just haven't talked much about just because there's so many other things to talk about. So this next community group is going to be on Tuesday, October 11th at 12 p.m. Central. And if you want to sign up, you can go to momonthespectrum.life/coaching. And if you scroll down there, you'll see all of the topics. So if you're like, I'm not a parent, I want to do this, but I'm not a parent. There's so many other topics. Like we're going to talk about masking, which is something that Quinny talked about when she was talking with her date about being autistic. We're going to talk about demand avoidance and autistic inertia coming up soon. We're going to talk about relationships and dating. So if you want to take a look at any of the topics that we have coming up for autistic community groups, momonthespectrum.life/coaching, and you can scroll down and there'll be a pink button underneath each session where you can sign up. But we've had just such a wonderful time. I keep getting emails from people kind of recounting experiences that we had just from the first autistic community group, still getting feedback about that. So I think this is a real need in our community to connect to each other and realize we have similar experiences and we don't have to be ashamed or embarrassed for the way that we do life because it's actually pretty cool and unique. And there's a lot we can learn about how to better support ourselves. And part of that comes from being in a community where we realize that we're not alone. So that's all I have today. Thank y'all so much for being here. This is a super random live stream. If this was helpful to you, if you could thumbs up the video, that helps so much with this showing up for other people. And actually, I want more people to see, hey, this is accurate autistic representation in the media. Like, let's keep pushing this, right? So share this video with somebody if it was helpful to you and recommend the show. Well, you watch it first before you recommend it to someone else. I want to make sure that you also vibe with it. I don't want you doing things based off what I say. So anyways, y'all are amazing. In case you haven't heard it enough lately, there is nothing wrong with you. Okay. You're a human being who deserves love and respect and admiration, and you're wonderful. So if you're going through a particularly tough day today, meltdown mode, whatever, I hope that you will give yourself room and grace to be exactly as you are, do what you need to do to take care of yourself, run that warm bath, take a little nap. Everyone make sure you're drinking water. Okay, everyone go drink a large cup of water. That's always helpful. And just know that you're fabulous, okay? All right, that's all I got today. I'm going to go eat and drink some water. Okay, bye.